Hey everyone, Tristan back with another video, and in this video I am reviewing this. It's by iFi. It's called the AC iPurifier. It's a new product by iFi, and it's kind of like the AudioQuest Jitterbug, except it's not for USB. It's for power. So this is the device here. It's relatively inexpensive. It retails for about $100, and you just plug it into your AC power line of your audio system, and it has active noise cancellation built in. So it has some circuitry in here that does active noise cancellation. So this is the box that it came in. It's a nice box. It kind of reminds me of like an iPhone box. You can kind of see the device there. And I'll just read you a little bit about what it says here, and then we can talk about it in more depth. It says, the iFi AC iPurifier cleans up the dirty AC mains, detects and solves annoying mains-based EMI and RFI and ground earth issues. Exceptionally user-friendly, just insert into the audio mains extension block for diagnostics and 40 dB or 100x or more noise reduction. And then benefits, reduce 100x the noise inside the AC power lines, detect incorrect mains polarity and ground connections, reduces hum and buzz issues on audio systems with no ground or earth, and protects the mains from voltage surges. And I will post a link in the description field because they have graphs on their website showing, the noise that it actually can reduce. And one of the unique things about this is because it's active rather than passive, like most sort of AC line filters, is that it can actually go down lower in the frequency response. It can go down to 10 kilohertz in terms of the noise filtering that it can do. So it can filter out to a greater degree, and it can also filter out to a lower frequency than most passive filters do. So again, this is active and not passive, so that's kind of unique, I think, in the marketplace for these kinds of things. It's got some kind of computer circuitry or something in here that does the active filtering. Now, it's kind of like the AudioQuest Jitterbug, except not for USB, for power, in that they say that you can put like multiples of these in your audio system for like increased benefit. They've only sent me one of these for review. And so what I did is I put it in one of the AC wall outlets that's going into my desktop audio system. And I figured that would be good because that's sort of catching it first before it hits the rest of the system. But they do recommend that you experiment around where you place it in terms of where it's going to make the most difference in your system and stuff like that. The other thing is, in my system, I noticed a minor improvement with this, but nothing major, and I'll tell you why. The first reason is because I already have a Furman power strip, which is a MOV-less power strip, specifically kind of for audio, but it's like on the cheaper side, but does a really good job for the price, and I'll post a link to that in the description field as well. So I already have that, and that does some passive AC line filtering for me already. And then the other thing is, when I'm using my headphones, I'm listening to the Core Hugo TT, which when you're listening to that, you're actually not listening to the AC mains power. You're listening to, in terms of power, you're listening to the batteries, because it has built-in batteries, as well as the super capacitors as well. So the Core Hugo TT does a very good job already of filtering out any kind of line noise in the AC power. Where I did notice a little bit more of a difference was when I was listening to my speakers, my powered speakers, which are the Focal CMS 50s. Each of those has 2 amplifiers, one for each driver. So when I'm listening to my speakers, I'm listening to like basically a pair of 4 powered amplifiers. And this seemed to make a bit more of a difference with those. It gives me a little bit less of a smeared type sound and a little bit more clarity. Although for me in my system it was quite subtle. And then the other thing is, with a device like this, whether or not you're going to hear a difference really will depend on whether or not you have a lot of line noise to begin with in your AC line. For me, it's kind of like cheap insurance. This thing is only like $100, so it's not that big of an outlay, to have it in your system or to try it. And I live in a multi-dwelling condominium building where you never know what other people have like near you, in terms of if somebody's running a hair dryer, or if somebody has their cordless phone going, Wi-Fi networks and a whole bunch of stuff like that. So for me, even if I don't necessarily perceive a big difference when A/Bing this in my system, I think it's kind of like cheap insurance to have it. Just because you never know when you're listening to music late at night what other people are going to be doing, in your near vicinity. But that being said, it's kind of like a your mileage will vary type of thing. So I would encourage you to try it yourself, and if you don't notice any different or improvement, you can always return it. Buy it from a place where they have a good returns policy. I'll post a link, in the description field. But in general, I think that this iFi AC iPurifier is pretty unique in the marketplace in that it's an active AC purifier rather than being passive, which most other products are. The other thing is that it does offer surge protection too, so wherever you have this plugged in, whether it be in your wall or into a power strip or whatever, if there's like a big surge or something, it'll actually cut off the power safely if it recognizes the surge, like if there's a thunderstorm or a lightning storm or something like that. And then it also has a polarity checker here, so when I plug this in, this light, the polarity light, will actually light up with a green LED, and that tells me that everything's good polarity wise in my AC system, and if it was not good, it would light up with a red LED. The other thing is, if you don't have the 3-prong grounding, this has the ability to do that for you. If you don't have that built into the wall outlet, you can actually plug in a cable here and then ground that to the earth separately. So all in all, I didn't notice a big difference with this. I do think I noticed subtle differences, but again, it's going to depend on a lot of factors, including what you already have in your system, how good your components are already, and how good your AC power is already. But I do believe in the benefits of things like this, and certainly when I got my Furman power strip, I did notice a difference in terms of my audio quality with that. And I do think that everything does kind of compound, can definitely improve your sound depending on the circumstances and depending on your equipment. But for $99, I think this thing is actually worth giving a try, and it's almost like cheap insurance in my opinion, even if the differences are subtle. So this has been my look of the iFi AC iPurifier. For more specs and graphs and things like that, check out their website. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in my next video.